Something has really caught my eye about Meghan and Harry's appearance at the Time 100 summit. So really it was just Meghan's appearance and Harry was toddling along behind her. But so many people and commentators are saying that Prince Harry was once again reduced to the spare role. Now, I do not disagree with this. I think he definitely was taking on a spare position, if we must use the term. And he did look like he's like her kid being dragged along to a boring work event because he's not allowed to stay home because he'll eat too many Cheetos and play too many video games. But no one is under any illusions that Prince Harry doesn't like attention. It's been clear through his own actions that he really does not only feel entitled to attention and positive-only media coverage, but he also feels entitled to and likes special treatment. Prince Harry is not actually interested in being a normal guy. Remember his "I'm just Harry" phase? Yeah, that was all just a lie, just because he thought that that seemed cooler than being like, no, I actually do want special treatment, and I do want you to call me by my titles and give me extra security and all of that. That's how Harry's vibes actually come across. I think that's his true self. In there, he's just like not come to terms with it yet. But anyway, in moments like this, because the attention is not on him, he does tend to get a little bit of a sort of bored and sullen look on his face for whatever reason. I mean, these are just my theories. Leave yours in the comments. But it does seem like he's a little put out when the Meg is doing an event or sort of charging in front of him and taking charge of or pushing in front of a joint event. And we must not neglect to acknowledge that the Meg and her claw do get super bossy and controlling. She literally shoves her way in first all of the time, which would be tiresome and disappointing for Harry. So naturally, some degree of this disappointed look on his face is understandable because then he has to come along and be supportive for her. But then when it's a joint event or something, she's pushing out in front and doing that sort of stuff to him anyway. So, I mean, it makes sense that he would maybe sometimes feel a little dejected. But that said, what I find most interesting about this popular reaction in the media spaces right now about their time appearance, where people are saying that he's now her spare, and like I said, I don't disagree with this, but I think it's rather curious that we see, or at least I'm noticing it more, that we see Harry willing to come in and be in an exclusively supportive role, but then we rarely, if ever, see the Meg doing the same for him in the same way or to the same degree. You know what I mean? Like Harry goes and does solo stuff sometimes where he's all by himself and he seems a lot more relaxed and happy, and people comment that he seems like he's more just smiley and laid back, less stressed. But whenever both of them are anywhere together, it very much feels like Meghan is like jockeying to shove her way in front of, or if it's an event where Meghan is the one being featured, like the Time thing, then Harry feels or looks like he's being relegated to the spare sort of a vibe. Like at Invictus, for example, Meghan inserted herself where she didn't belong repeatedly. And it's Harry's event. It's meant to be Harry's moment to shine. She hijacked the welcome reception and introduced Harry rather than letting the CEO or someone from the Invictus organization do it. And her speech was clunky, chaotic, and self-centered, and the audience did not receive her well. So it didn't even work out nicely for her. Or in other times, we've seen her literally push in front of him or pull him away while he's actively talking to someone. These are moments where she should have literally avoided speaking altogether, avoided bossing people around, avoided pulling Harry away, and just politely, patiently been supportive in a background sort of a way. But she either can't or she won't. Another example of this is the countless peak cringe moments from polo matches, where, for example, Meghan should have or could have let, for example, the Centabale CEO present the trophy, but instead she shoved her way in and she wasn't even scheduled to attend. That means that there was someone else who had prepared to and possibly even looked forward to presenting a trophy and then had that taken away from them so that the Meg could do it instead. And it's moments like this where I always think about whoever it was who was scheduled to present the trophy and had that ripped away from them because Meghan decided to show up that day unscheduled. I always think about that person, like, what if they told their family, or what if they told their kids or something? Like, I get to present a trophy today. Won't that be fun? Do you want to come and see? I just always feel so bad. And I think about how disappointing and unfair it would be. But anyway, so rarely do we see Meghan actually be the supporting role, actually step into the spare to Harry, if we have to put it in those terms. When it's his event, she doesn't do that for him. She doesn't even take turns when they're doing things together, when it's like a joint thing. She doesn't even take turns. It's always her walking first. It's always her trying to introduce people. It's always her shaking hands first. Instead, it's almost always Harry looking like this while Meghan is the center of attention and looks so high on it that she gets all chaotic and flustered and basically ignores him. Or we see Harry try to do his events or whatever it is that he's doing, and Meghan is like competing with him. It's so bizarre. Or she's bossing him around and incessantly touching him and tapping him, trying to get his attention back onto her, so that she can have things be more, like, I guess, focused on her or her way. I don't even know what it is. It's so strange. And it not only reflects really poorly onto Meghan, but it's one of those red flags in a relationship. No matter how much Meghan says that she has the best supporter in Harry, who is always so supportive, her actions show that she's incapable of reciprocating in the same way. Anytime you're giving your spouse the best you can in a moment as a supporter or helper or advocate, the sign of a healthy relationship is that they do it back for you, that they give you the best that they can in the same way and to the same level of effort. Meghan doesn't seem to ever do that for Harry. And so it really makes you wonder, does Harry realize this? Has he figured this out? If so, do you think it would bother him, or does it bother him? Especially after how much he whined about the royal family dynamics? Or do you think that this has yet to sink in? Do you think he doesn't get it yet? Because I'm really curious, because so many people use that terminology when they're seen out and about together, that they're, Harry's being the spare again, but never is Meghan the spare to Harry. And that just doesn't feel fair. Like, in general, they're both flawed people. They're both controversial. They've both made tons and tons of mistakes and have really questionable character and poor morals and clearly lack values. But that's still not fair to see. What do you think? Leave it in the comments. I cannot wait to read them. Thank you for joining me for today's short little video, and I will see you next time. Have a happy day. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.